Have you ever canoed down a babbling brook?
No, but I have cried at a Taco Bell.
Oh, same thing. Listen up, campers.
It's time to buckle up, pitch a tent, and take a hike.
Because Camp Counselors is a variety show.
So prepare for a good old-fashioned kumbaya,
Weird news,
hot gossip,
and scary stories around the campfire.
so spooky.
Is this podcast even about camping?
No, but it is camp. This is Camp Counselors. Hey, happy campers! I just wanted to sing that a little bit. I felt a little spicy. I'm sorry.
That was beautiful.
Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
It is week 47. It is week 47.
47.
Wow, that's crazy.
Super excited for everyone to be here. Welcome back to the Camp Counselors podcast with Zachariah Porter and
Jonathan Carson.
This is going to be a fun episode, you guys. We had a lot going on this week, and we have a lot of great news articles and funny takes on things. So strap in and get ready for a good episode.
Yeah.
What did we do this week, baby?
We went to Martha's Vineyard.
Beautiful coastal Martha's Vineyard. Guys, this is our last episode on our Massachusetts vacation.
Is it really?
It is.
Okay, unless we squeeze one in.
Yeah, well, actually, take that back. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But like the trip is coming to a close.
It is. But for those who are listening, like audio only, there is no difference. We're just going to be in a different location.
Yeah, but for those who like, I don't know, we have better stories for like what we're doing every single week.
True.
So we were in Martha's Vineyard. So those of you who do not know what that is, it's in a big island off of the coast of Massachusetts, about 75 square miles. Very famous.
Yeah, I would say.
Barack Obama has a house there.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Who's who? Do you know why it's called Martha's Vineyard?
I'm assuming there's a vineyard that's started by a woman named Martha.
Incorrect.
Okay.
That's what most people think, I feel, but I didn't know either.
Okay.
So I did a quick little Google search. It came up in about 3 seconds. A lifelong question I've had that I answered in 3 seconds.
I feel like I have so many of those, and I'm like, I don't want to look it up. I just want to wonder.
Sometimes it's fun to just live in wonder.
Yeah.
That's why we won't watch Rio.
Amen.
Amen. We just want to know. We don't want to know.
We just don't want to know.
Well, I did want to know this one.
Okay.
So I have a little quote for you. Originally called Noepe, I think. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Or Land Between the Streams by the indigenous inhabitants of the Wampanoag Native American tribe. The island was renamed in 1602 by British explorer. Let's change that to British colonizer named Bartholomew Gosnold. That's a rough one.
That is.
Really. So that's why we don't name kids Bartholomew anymore, because it's not a name that's welcomed on the playground.
So he went by Martha?
No, he named it after his daughter,
Oh.
Martha, and the viney undergrowth found along the coast when they discovered it. But oddly enough, there are no operating vineyards on Martha's Vineyard, although grapevines can be found on the island, on island-wide, like throughout the island.
That's kind of crazy because I always thought that they just had wineries on wineries.
There is no actual vineyards on the island. So
Okay.
it's just I guess there was a lot of overgrowth because it was an indigenous island. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, Martha's mud pies didn't sound inviting.
no, that sound as fun, but it's a gorgeous island if you guys have never been. So this past week, me and a group of my friends and Jonathan went on a day excursion to Martha's Vineyard. And it was really fun because usually when I was growing up, I could never afford to stay over because it's super expensive. But hey, I'm a little older and the pockets got a little deeper. So me and the girlies decided to splurge and cram a bunch of people into 2 hotel rooms. So we left New Bedford on a ferry, which took about 50 minutes because it was a high-speed ferry.
Yeah, I was not expecting. I was expecting an old-timey, those things with that pedal in the back that look like giant barrels just constantly rotate. That's what I was expecting. I was like, oh, it's going to be chill. It's going to be whatever. This thing was flying. I don't know how many knots it was, but it was at least 45 miles per hour.
Yeah, this is no Steamboat Willie, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
This thing is cruising, but it's great because you get there in 50 minutes. So when we got on the ferry, everybody was already feeling feral, okay? It's a big group of my friends. One of my close friends, Kira, she was in an actual boot because she injured her heel bone. That's a long story. I'm not doing this right now. But she injured her foot. So
trying to save a child from drowning. She's a hero. Let's say that.
Yeah, she's a hero, but she's also an animal, and you'll learn more about her later in the story. So she's like, we're starting drinking now. So everybody gets up and rushes the bar on this little ferry. Guys, there's 2 bartenders on the ferry, and they're both barely legal. 18 years old, I would say. You went up and got them.
So I went up and I knew immediately there was going to be a situation when like I had asked if they could do like a blueberry vodka lemonade, and the guy looked like, I asked him the craziest question, and I was like, oh, okay, let me like simplify. And I was being nice, obviously.
Of
Like
course.
they were younger kids, and I was just like, oh, you can do like whatever lemonade, like whatever blueberry, because I said Stoli, and he was like,
He
what's
panicked.
that?
He
And
did not know what Stoli was, which is
Right,
fine. Which is fine.
Right. So I got the Nantucket blueberry, which is I'm a fan of. Okay. So then we got doubles, that's for sure, but it was 95% alcohol and like topped off with a little bit of lemonade. Another guy was making a Bloody Mary, spilled it all over. He was like so frustrated. I felt bad. I did. But
Well,
all that to say, they gave us gasoline.
yeah, so a 10:45 ferry on the way to Martha's Vineyard means everybody, for the most part, is there to vacation of some sort. So the drinks are flowing, guys. And that's going to be the theme of this overall start to the episode, is that the drinks were flowing. And if you've ever had a little day trip with your friends or like an overnight, you know that you start early and you may start a little fast and furious. And the one thing about unexperienced bartenders, I realize, and anyone who's at home that's never actually bartended, I don't think people realize how much is too much. I think we all think by sight that looks like the appropriate amount of alcohol, but you'd really be shocked to know how much 1.5, 2 ounces of alcohol is. Because usually when people are making margaritas at home, they're like, oh, this tastes like shit. It's like, yeah, because you did 5 ounces.
Yeah.
Less is more, but not in this case because we got our money's worth. So all this to say is we land on the Vineyard right around 11:30ish, and I already have a great buzz.
Yeah.
I'm feeling fun. I'm feeling feral. I'm feeling thirsty for more, and I welcome the enjoyment of the buzz. So after we leave the ferry, we head right to our humble abode for the night called the Dockside Inn. And we're going to get into it, but I'm going to say 10 out of 10 would recommend. We booked this trip super last minute, which meant that there was literally no options left for hotels. And most places on Martha's Vineyard are like 2-night minimum, but we were only doing 1 night. But guys, we went right into Oaks Bluff, which is like this, like a central like ferry location, a great like downtown party area of the Vineyard. And we checked into our hotel very early, 3 hours early, but 1 room was available.
And I was expecting it to be like crusty and haunted and kind of gross, but I was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised too because the guy that welcomed us, his name was Garrett, and Garrett was like super cheerful and nice. And like, you don't see that a lot nowadays. Like most people at like the hotel check-in desk are over it and not into me. And I get it. Like it's not a great job. And like, I don't expect like cheese and applause when I walk in a place, but he was very welcoming and very sweet. And I thought it was so funny because we booked a room, like Kira's room had like, it was like a double bed and a pull out. Like a queen size bed and a pull out for 4 people. And then my room had 2 people, but we walked in there with 9 people and we're like, hey, can we all put our bags in one room? And he was like, I do not care. Do what you want. Which I was like, wow. Cause if this was like a typical hotel, they would have been like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
like,
let's get a head count who's actually staying here.
He didn't even care. He literally did not care.
Yeah, and not in like a careless way. It was like, oh yeah, come on guys, we're gonna have a good time.
So the vibes are already welcoming. And then he drops this on us, you guys. He's like, hey, we have a little shed in the back of the property and it's filled with like coolers and beach chairs and beach toys. He's like, the beach is like 2 blocks that way. You guys can grab whatever you want. Just bring it back when you're done. Like no sign out, guys. Like half of our group isn't even staying overnight with us. And everyone got a beach chair and like what a cooler. We grabbed a cooler.
So they got shovels, they got pails. I couldn't believe it. He was like, I trust you. Go for it. You don't have to check anything out.
Yeah, like no paperwork. We just grabbed a bunch of chairs and walked down the beach after. It was amazing.
They had beach towels too. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they did. It was just nice because it's kind of hard to go to the beach at a place like that. And then like, where do you change? Like, where do you do your stuff? You're not going to go on a ferry with a beach chair.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Oh my God, can you imagine? There'd be sand everywhere.
I know. So we check in, we do that, guys. We drop our stuff down and then we go, hey, it's time for the bar again. I'm ready for another sip. I'm ready for another delight.
Yeah, we got to keep it going.
So one of the most famous places to go in Oaks Bluff on Martha's Vineyard is this little shop called Nancy's. It's like a little booth. It's attached to a bigger restaurant, but they have this like Donovan's, like Surfside, like whatever on the corner of it. And this guy comes in from like, I believe it's Jamaica. I don't think it's the Bahamas. I'm pretty sure it's Jamaica. He comes in every single year from like March to October and he works alone in this little booth and he makes like the most incredible frozen cocktails you've ever had in your entire life. They're famous for this one called the Dirty Banana, but this was the only smart choice I made that day was to not get that. It's essentially like a mudslide, but with real banana inside with like banana puckers. So if you like love the taste of banana and also cream in the hot sun, it's for you. But to have alcoholic milkshakes with banana in it at 1 p.m. for me and I'm just speaking for myself here, is not the vibe.
Yeah, I didn't want to start off on a bad foot, and I'm glad that we did not, because I feel like it would have went downhill a little earlier than it actually did.
Yeah, we decided to opt for the strawberry daiquiri.
Oh my god, what did Chloe called it something? The Zachariah daiquiri, or the strawberry daiquiri.
No, yeah, then the shot's gonna be Daiquiri Zachary. And I said, if you call me Zachary again, I'm gonna drown you in the water. I'm just joking, but don't ever call me Zachary. Side note, someone messaged me once, why is daiquiri spelled the way that it's spelled, but Zachary isn't spelled like daiquiri? Daiquiri has a really cute little Q in it. And one thing about me, if there's a Q in the middle of a word, that word is instantly Q.
Yeah.
Q has no Q in it, but it sounds like there's a Q in it. Q's are inherently a really cute letter.
Yeah, they're not used enough.
Yeah, and that's what makes them so cute, because they're far and few in between.
That's why I'm queer.
That's why we got strawberry daiquiris, because about two cute boys with two cute drinks.
Mm.
He had them like, you know what's crazy, you guys? Like, it was so alcoholic that he like finished it with like a floater of just brown liquor. It was
Yeah.
rum of some sort.
The only brown floater that I'm inviting.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a little painful to drink. In a good way, but in a bad way.
Yeah, I spilled
As
most of it.
you guys can see the theme of the day, over drinking. Then, this has never happened to me in my entire life, you guys. We didn't book reservations anywhere for food because there was 9 of us. And that's just practically impossible anywhere you go, let alone Martha's Vineyard. So we were like, let's just get a drink at this bar over here before we go to the beach for the day. We went to this place called
Sandbar.
Sandbar. Sorry for the pause. But this place called Sandbar. And we walk in there, you guys. And there was this like little sidebar to the right, completely empty.
We took up the entire sandbar.
There was exactly 9 seats.
It was written in the sand.
Are you guys getting how crazy this is? To walk in with your dying closest friends and have an entire bar to yourselves? VIP. Guess what the bartender's name was, you guys?
Well, she said it was Stormy,
It was Stormy.
but I heard someone else call her Irene.
But the credit card receipt that I signed said Stormy.
That could be nickname.
Yeah, she was originally from Fort Lauderdale, but she was just working there for the summer.
Stormy.
She hooked it up, you guys.
She did.
The food was okay there. I'm not gonna rave up the food because people listen to our recommendations and we have to be honest.
Yeah, I only had like the chips.
Yeah,
I didn't eat anything.
The loaded tots were giving loaded nonsense. It was
Yeah.
okay. Like, it was just like, give me some seasoning, give me some spice. Like, I'm not giving that place, like the food, I'm not giving a great review. I'm giving the bartender Stormy an amazing review. I'm giving the drinks a great review, but I also got a Michelob Ultra, so you simply cannot mess that up unless it's warm.
Yeah.
So it's cold. So like, it was like standard, but the fact that we got 9 seats together was kismet, and for that, it's giving a good review.
Yeah, 100%. It's off to a great start.
Proceed with caution. Then we go back to the room. We get our stuff for the beach. We spend the day at the beach. We're walking to the beach. I'm drinking like a tall twisted tea. Everything is good in the hood. And then I'm sitting on the chair and I'm feeling weathered.
Mm.
I'm feeling like that, like really drunk, but I'm sitting in the sun, kind of like not spins, but just I'm feeling battered, bruised even.
You're feeling the Stormy.
Were you? Yeah, I was literally feeling stormy.
Mm.
How were you feeling at that moment?
I was not as like bad as you because I stopped drinking. I was like, I just have to sit. I'm going to sit in my chair. I didn't drink at all at the beach because I knew had I done so, it would have gotten worse for me.
You also hold your liquor a lot better than I do.
You know, I do my best.
You really do. Honestly, when you're drunk, Jonathan, it's because you went insane, because you can drink a lot and still be pretty good.
Yeah.
Or at least you present really well.
Thank you.
So when I was sitting on the chair, you guys, I was sweating in the sun. Like, my entire like upper lip is sweating. I'm dripping from my forehead. And I'm like, you know what? The only thing that can save me right now is the cool, refreshing waters of the Atlantic.
Mm.
Only the sea can save me from this like kind of like midday, like almost spins borderline.
Yeah.
So I go right into the water. I dive headfirst into the water. I come out of the water feeling cold, but still very drunk. It didn't help. I thought it was like, this is the cure.
I was watching you out there with the guys and you were just like a little bobbing apple, like going like this. I was like, oh, he's still not feeling great.
When you're like in a mixed group of people and you're feeling too drunk and everyone's talking and you're trying your best to like look like you have it together, but you're like really like, you look like you're over focusing, but also like dead behind the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I was self-aware. I feel like I was floating outside my body being like, okay, Mr. Donovan with that brown floater and that double blueberry lemonade and then the shot and the Michelob and the twisted tea. It's all dancing in my stomach, but it's doing like a satanic ritual because it's not giving me life. It's giving me death. I was not feeling it. Then I get out of the water, you guys. I'm sitting in the sand. Well, I'm sitting in my chair and I have my sunglasses on and my eyes are closed. And all I can think of is like, can people see that my eyes are closed through these sunglasses right now? Because I do not feel well. And it's 1 p.m. and the plan is to go all night and I'm fading fast. And I'm fading furious. I'm not a big fan of the Fast and Furious franchise in either Fading Fast and Furious in real life.
Yeah.
How are you feeling at the beach? You were fine now.
I was okay. I should have got more water, but I was not in the condition that you were in, but I saw that you were struggling.
I also should have ate more, but we were doing grab and go. We were doing that classic grab and go at the bar.
Literally, we had a McDonald's hash brown, egg McMuffin, and
A McGriddle.
Sorry, a McGriddle.
No,
and
be honest, because the campers need to know that we are more pro McGriddle over the what, McMuffin?
The McMuffin. The McMuffin's dry. You need ample ketchup. But I thought that the McGriddle was honestly a little bit dry, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
And we had like 4 chips, and you had a scoop full of
Elote.
yeah, exactly.
One thing about me, if elote is available, I'm gonna dabble.
Thank you, elote.
Elote, aloha elote. That doesn't make any sense. But I just really am into mayonnaise on corn.
Yeah, something about mayonnaise on corn, y'all.
If there's corn in anything, I'm gonna love it. I just
Yeah.
like really, I'm a big corn head for sure. After that, we went back to the rooms, you guys. We showered. I felt a little better because I was chugging water at that point.
Yeah.
And then we decided to go to this bar called the Ritz. So if you're visiting Oaks Bluffs, if you're ever like going to Martha's Vineyard, this is like the local like dive bar, but not really. It's kind of like just such kind of a divey bar, but it's nice.
It's fun. But when Kira was talking about it before we had gone, I hear Ritz. I think Carlton, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, okay, it's not hoity-toity, but it's like Martha's Vineyard. I'm thinking Vineyard Vines. I'm thinking like clean. I'm thinking sparkly. I'm thinking like, I'm not going to fit in. Baby, I fit in perfectly.
I think that's why I liked it so much, is because I think Martha's Vineyard has this kind of hoity-toity like energy of it, which is like cool or whatever if you're like into that, but like I don't like that kind of stuff. Like I'm much more comfortable in like a very like casual like laid back place. Like this place had pride flags all over it, like lights, like musician like posters and stuff like that. Like it was just like fun and like way more low key, especially for like how the Vineyard can be very like hoity toity. But like nothing about what we're going to tell you, like what we've been telling you about, is like that like, oh, I'm going to wear a sweater around my shoulders vibe. We're not doing that on this trip, you guys.
At the Ritz, I felt like had I overeaten there, I would be comfortable undoing the top button, maybe the top 2 buttons, and not being looked at twice.
100%. That's a place where you have a couple buttons loose because you're feeling sassy, you're feeling fun, you're feeling free.
Amen.
Shout out to Tara, the general manager, who did recognize me from Instagram and not TikTok, which is usually the other way around, but I welcome it. And Tara really hooked it up. But the problem was everywhere we went, they were hooking it up. I was finally starting to feel better, and then it just started getting sloppy again.
Yeah.
I was a sloppy drunk that entire trip.
It was a long day.
We drank there for a bunch of hours. Then we went to a pizza window. I was not a fan of that pizza at all.
No, what was going on with it? Everybody was like, that was a good slice. I was like, was it? Because it was a little tart. It was a little salty.
I like Greek pizza.
Yeah, a gritza.
A Greek pizza is a little bit more crispy. The sauce is a little on the sweeter side, and the cheese is cheesing.
Yeah.
An Italian pizza is a little floppy. It's a little, I want a little crisp.
Well, you can't put them all under that umbrella. And also, who invented the pizza?
The Italians, and who perfected it? The Greeks. So let it be known, I'm a Greek head for a pizza. So we got the pizza. It was fine. I needed the nourishment, but we never had an actual formal dinner, and that was the mistake. The day continued to get drunker and drunker. We drank more and more.
We went back to Nancy's at one point.
We went back to Nancy's, went back to the room and pregame for a little bit, and then we went back out to the Ritz.
Yeah.
And the problem was by the time that, let's say this for a second. We get back to the Ritz at like 10. It is like an old person bar.
Oh, yeah.
And I get along with the oldies, okay? But this wasn't like my typical oldies. This was like 70 plus.
Yeah.
It was giving geriatric.
Yeah.
They were playing the hits.
Well, they had to do it early because everybody had to be in bed by like 7:30.
The Jitterbug came on and everybody was losing their fucking mind like it was Beyonce. But then the DJ came on and we were vibing. It was all great. But 11 o'clock comes and I'm dead. I've been drinking now for 12 hours. I can no longer handle my liquor. And everyone kind of seems like they're slowing down a little bit, except for Kira, because Kira is an absolute animal and she's just built different. She's absolutely hammered. And then she looks at the group and instead of being like, hey, maybe we should go back, she goes, nah, I'm going to get everybody a round of shots. She brings us back, you guys, a round of green tea shots. And if you don't know what green tea is, I think it's Jameson and sour mix and some like, I don't know. It's supposed to taste like green tea, and it kind of does.
It sounds like a healthy choice. Like when she brought it over, I was like, okay, yeah, it's basically a B12 shot. Wrongo.
Yeah. Also, the shots were like double the size. I knew that if I had that shot, I was gonna vomit. And then everyone took the shot, and we were right next to a trash can that I like threw my hand up and threw it out.
Yeah.
VIP move.
You did a classic like Mary Kate and Ashley switcheroo while no one was looking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna consume it, but I knew that in her mind, she was so obliterated that I couldn't tell her no.
Yeah.
She was going to not take no for an answer.
Hmm.
After that, really everybody was just dead. And
Yeah.
the one problem with the Vineyard is there's like no late night food. There's a place in Oaks Bluff called Midnight Tacos, and they're ironically closed at 9.
What is up with that?
That is false advertisement.
Yeah, why would you even say midnight taco and I'm anticipating a midnight taco and you're done by 9:05?
I'm upset. I'm truly upset. So we went back to the room, and thank God we had a couple bags of Cape Cod chips, keeping it classic, keeping it local.
Mm.
I pounded a bunch of those, and I went to bed, but you stayed out because you're creepy.
Yeah, we went down to the beach. Kira kept her boot on. I was trying to keep her in line. She wasn't like that crazy.
She was handicapped with a big gray boot on because she has a broken heel bone, and she's at the Ritz growling at people.
Because she's a hero.
Yeah, she is a survivor as
She's
well.
basically a Purple Heart.
I don't know. She was trying to get in the water, wasn't she?
Oh, wait. Yeah, she 100% was. We were sitting against the wall and she was like, I'm going to go in. I was like, literally, Jaws was filmed here. Let's not.
There's a lot of sharks in the Vineyard. So while he was at the beach, I was in the hotel room panicking that he was going to die. I don't know why. I kept thinking that he was going to fall on a rock and die because I was like, oh my God, he went to the beach alone. I should have went with him. I don't trust my friends. I do, but you know, alcohol was involved.
There was 4 of us.
I know, but I got nervous you were going to hit your head on the rock and die.
But I
But
didn't.
Yeah, I waited up until you came back to the room. The next morning, I felt fine because I flushed my body out with water and Tylenol. Everybody else was down for the count. Everyone's dead, so we go get bagels. The bagels were not good.
No, they were hot. They were not toasted. They were just like hot.
More on that later. And then I wanted to show you this like famous like landmark, at least in my mind, in Martha's Vineyard. They have this like gingerbread village, which is kind of like hard to describe. So we'll put some pictures up if you're watching on the boob tube. But it's like these whimsical little cottages that all have different colors and themes with a lot of ornate details in like, I don't know, like the framing of the house.
Yeah, it felt like storybook land.
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, it felt like I was on a movie set and everybody sitting on the porch was a paid actor.
Yeah, and it's like these are like actual properties that people own. They're all like under like probably like 750 square feet. They're really tiny, but there's like hundreds of them, and they're all in this like little area, and it's like super sweet and dainty. And I was like, Jonathan, like I really like don't want you to come here for the first time and only go to the bar. Like we have to do something a little bit more scenic. We need to go to Jaws Bridge. Like we literally went to the Vineyard and stayed within a mile radius of the hotel. It was crazy.
But there's a lot to do.
There is, but we could have seen more. We could have seen a lot more of the ritzy titsy parts. So we went to do that, and on the way back, I was literally dripping sweat. The humidity was 91 degrees.
It was at 10 a.m.
91%.
Yeah.
The real feel was 98.
Yeah.
It was insane. But I had to get the sweater that I'm wearing currently right now because I needed a little like tchotchke, a little souvenir. But there's nothing quite like shopping for a sweater in the middle of summer while you're dripping sweat.
That's why I didn't get one. I literally could not even fathom for the rest of my life ever putting on another sweatshirt because of how hot I was in that very moment. I was like, I simply could not. I was ready to leave. Like the other people we were with left us to go back to the hotel to get some sort of air conditioning relief.
I know, but you stay with me, and I'm glad you did because this is so sweet and dainty. It's at Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. I love embroidery, and I kept the sticker on it so you guys can see that I'm a size large.
Love that.
Size large. It was great. We checked out. We took the ferry home. The water was rocky and terrible. All of my friends were about to vomit. I felt fine. I was just laughing at their expense. I love those kids, but they went a little too crazy. And I learned early in the day that water was going to save me.
And it did.
Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements. Morning announcements, campers. A little quick housekeeping from last week's episode. My song was Amber by 311.
Yes.
And we talked about the amber is the color of Nicole Scherzinger's energy.
Yeah.
But we neglected to ever talk about what our energy color would be.
I feel like I was just so wrapped up in the
In the lore.
pussycat dollhood of it all to like even think about what my energy color would be.
We can't name the episode the Pussycat Dollhood of it all because that just does not make sense with the episode title.
But it's a good runner-up.
I just want to highlight that was really clever.
Thank you.
And I enjoyed that. What do
you.
you think? Can I say what I think your energy would be?
I was hoping you would.
The color of your energy for me is like baby blue.
Oh, okay.
I think that's your energy.
Is it because I am baby?
I just think you're really sweet and gentle, and you don't bring in intensity. Like you don't enter a room and cause chaos. I just think you really bring a sense of peace and like in love and light.
Thank you.
Like baby blue.
Okay, so I'm gonna say your color.
What?
And I feel like you're not gonna like it, but I feel like your energy is like a bright yellow.
I literally hate that color. I know what you're gonna say.
But
I
to
appreciate
me,
it,
to me,
okay, yeah.
yellow is the happiest color. It's not my favorite color, but that's not what we're basing it on right now. You bring so much joy and so much sunlight and so much happiness, so much fire, so much sex appeal, like a flame, like a flamer. And that's why I think yellow is the color of your energy.
Well, that's very sweet, and I really appreciate that. I wish I liked the color yellow a little bit more. I like your meaning behind it, and that's genuinely all that matters. Guys, everybody ask your partner or your relationship or whatever, or your friends, what's the color of their energy? That's a fun little conversation, I think.
Yeah.
I think I want my color to be orange, like cantaloupe orange.
Okay.
Like my Crocs that I usually wear. I'm not wearing them now.
See. I don't think that that's the color of your energy. I think if you were going to be an orange, it would be bright. I think you're a bright color.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do you have any morning announcements this week?
Oh, yes. Okay, so morning announcements. This is the part of the show. You say this little shindig a lot better than I do.
This is morning announcements, you guys. This is the part of the show where we share news articles that you may have missed that are so spicy, so drama, so fun, so Princess Girl that you got to share with everybody you know, because like we see enough on TMZ. We don't need to cover that. We need to cover the real news.
Yes.
The less intense news.
Thank you.
The fun news. Tell me your news, baby boy, now.
Okay, I was pretending that I'm a reporter on the case and like there's a delay.
I hate you.
I wonder how many people checked their phones to be like, did my phone pause? I do that sometimes if there's a dramatic pause. Anyway, I got you guys. Okay. So this article is coming from WFLA Channel 8 News, and it's by Kevin Asatula.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what a fun last name. Asatula.
It's ACCETTULLA.
He's
Love
like, it's
that.
literally not how you pronounce it, but go off.
Sorry, no clue. But the name of this article is Subway to give free sandwiches for life to one person who agrees to legally change their name to Subway.
I love sub gay.
So I'm just going to kind of read this article
Go
verbatim.
for it.
One lucky person will receive free Subway sandwiches for life as a part of the restaurant's campaign to find their biggest fan, as long as that person commits to legally changing their name to Subway. Subway fans can visit subwaynamechange.com between 9 a.m. on August 1st and 11:59 p.m. on August 4th. Oh my God, we can still enter. To enter the contest. By entering the contest, fans will agree that if they are selected as the winner, they will legally change their name to Subway. So like what is in that little, when you check the box at the bottom that says like, I have read and I'm agreeing to the terms of use. What's in the terms and conditions here in this situation? It sounds very drastic.
I want to do it, and like if I get picked up, I'm just gonna say never mind. Like they can't like bring me to the DMV, can they?
Unless you check that box and it's like legally we can countersue you.
Oh, wait, guys, should we all do it and then be like, we're not doing it?
The winner will receive $750 to cover the cost of legally changing their name, along with $50,000 in Subway gift cards, according to the rules. A winner will be chosen via random drawing on August 7th, according to the official sweepstakes rules. Subway has about 37,000 restaurants in 100 countries and territories. That's a weird way to end it, but go off. So you get $50,000, and that's considered a lifetime supply.
That's not, because I look at it like this, right? It's like Subway's no longer cheap. The $5 footlong is a thing of the past.
Literally, I have that written down in my notes.
It's gone. It's more like the $10 footlong now.
Yeah, it's
So
inflation nation.
You like move the zero over. So now we're really looking at 5,000 subs.
Okay, I crunched some numbers.
Please, I want the numbers to be crunched in front of me.
So if you want a regular sandwich, like a classic sandwich, the ones that used to be like traditionally a $5 footlong,
The Italian BMT.
you can get 6,250 regular sandwiches, give or take.
That is not a lifetime supply.
So if you want a Lux sandwich, like an ultimate steak if you're a terrorist, or a
Ew.
meatball sub.
Those are good.
It's about $13 with tax.
It is.
Per sandwich.
Mhm.
So that's only 3,846 sandwiches. So you're only getting, like, if you want to get a sandwich a day, you're only getting a sandwich a day for about 10 and a half years. Don't know if my numbers are right there, but I think it is. And unless you're planning on dying in 10 and a half years, that is not a lifetime supply.
Whatever happened to just simply giving a good gold medal card
Yes.
with your name on it, and it's given, and you can believe it, and you're like, this is truly lifetime supply. Because anytime someone wins like a year time supply, a lifetime supply, it is like an actual just a concrete number, and they kind of just like calculate it. It's not genuinely like one forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
And
like that.
do they have good merch? Because you could use that money to buy some visors.
Your name is Subway. Is it worth it? No.
I would go buy Subby. With
I
an
would do
I.
it for Cheesecake Factory.
That was what I was going to ask next. So you would do, what would you be called? Cheesy with an I? Like,
I would
what's
be-
your nickname?
I would be called Cheese, and then my middle name would be Cake, and my last name would be Factory. I'm doing the full legal change.
Okay.
But I want a lifetime supply, and I would negotiate that in my contract and my residuals, that because I'm not on strike with the writers, guys.
Yeah, you have Kyle could do that for you. Your manager can handle that.
My manager will handle all the nitty gritty for me. I'm gonna go with Cheesecake Factory. What are you gonna go for?
I think I would go with Domino's. I would go by Dom or Dominic and just
Oh.
kind of like ride that cheesy wave.
That's really cute. So you mean Domino Ryan?
Yeah, or I could always do midnight tacos.
No, because you can only go between the hours of 11:30 and 9 p.m.
And there's only one.
and you have to take a ferry to get there.
What a nightmare.
I will say that changing your name for $750 is not that expensive. I thought it'd be way more.
Yeah. Maybe I'll change my name for fun.
Can you wait? Whenever you're bored, you can be like, "Well, I can spend $750." People spend more on Botox,
That's very true.
and that basically goes away in 6 months.
It changes your identity slightly.
Change your name, lifetime $750.
So save your money and just change your name, guys.
Yeah, if you don't like the way you look, change your name, and that's how they look now, not you. That's great.
So what's your morning announcement?
It is so eerily similar to your story. It's crazy. The article title is Family's Great Wolf Lodge Visit Soiled After Finding Dirty Diaper in Game Night Box.
Very similar.
Well, maybe not. Guys, this is really, I love this story, but then this is the real reason why I picked it. The reporter of the story, his name is Zachariah Wheaton.
Can you imagine if he would have changed his name to Subway?
No, he has to keep my name and his name. Listen, I never come across real Zacharias in the wild, and I know this one's real because he's a newscaster. He's from 9 to 10 News Channel from Northern Michigan. He's my brother in Z, and I love him so much, and I gotta support the guy.
My brother and Z.
We're brothers in Z. There's not many of us, you guys. So last Monday night in Traverse City, Michigan, this like family of 4 was visiting Great Wolf Lodge. Are you familiar with what that is?
Slightly.
So Great Wolf Lodge is kind of like this, like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like an indoor water park, family amusement park. And it's like, you can like, it's like not a timeshare. What is it called when you buy into something like that? Like they pop up everywhere. It's like a chain.
Yeah.
It's like a chain of water parks throughout the country, and they're indoor, and they're geared towards like families, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're everywhere. The closest one in Massachusetts is in Fitchburg, kind of near my sister over there.
Bitchburg?
Fitchburg.
Love that.
Fitchburg. So like they're mostly in every single state. So there's this one in Michigan, and this family of 4 goes. There's like a 9-year-old, the mom, the boyfriend, and then like the sister go. So they have a lovely day at the water park. When they go back to their room, they get this box, it's like a game night box. And typically like those contain things like caramel corn and other like fun little treats and toys. So it's like a almost like an add-on for the hotel.
So are they getting it from the lobby, or is it like already in the room?
I think it was either I don't know that. It was either
Okay.
delivered to the room, or it was like already like, or they brought it up. You know what I mean?
Game night box.
Yeah, like it probably
Okay.
had some like silly little trinkets in there, something for the kids to play with that night and have some candy, kind of like a bark box.
Okay.
A bark box for the kids there. Is that making
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, I got it.
Like one of those boxes. So when the family opened the box, they thought it was like tissue paper. Because they're like, oh, what's inside here? It actually was wipes. And when they unrolled the diaper, thinking that there was something inside of it, like it was an unboxing, it was a dirty adult diaper. But in the branding and the packaging of the Great Wolf Lodge.
Was it ones or twos?
It was twos.
Oh no.
So thank God. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, is there a solution? Because I think I know what happened.
Well, what do you think happened before I tell you what happened?
I think someone accidentally went twosies and didn't want to like throw it away in the tiny little, tiny, petite diet trash cans they give you in your hotel rooms.
Yeah, those are diet trash cans.
Sometimes without liners, which I understand if we're trying to save the planet, that's fine. But sometimes I'd be like putting boogery tissues in there and I'm like, it's gonna get stuck and a cleaner's gonna have to reach her hand in there and I feel bad.
Usually they don't have liners anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So if this was like an adult poopy diaper and maybe they were just embarrassed, so they were like, what can I put this in that housekeeping is gonna realize? I'm not blaming housekeeping, or like someone's gonna find. Maybe they just put it in the box innocently, being like, this is gonna get tossed.
No, this seems like the blame is on housekeeping. It had to have been.
Well, I'm not trying to blame the housekeeping, so I'm gonna retract that statement right now.
Well, I'm going to say that I'm blaming it on housekeeping because we
Okay.
don't have a resolution here of what did happen. So we have to kind of infer ourselves. I agree. I think your deductive reasoning skills, you are the classic. I'm trying to think of a famous like detective right now. I can't think of one in my goddamn head.
Harriet the Spy.
Wishbone. You are the Wishbone.
Okay, I don't think he was a detective. Maybe in one life.
In one episode, he was playing Sherlock Holmes. I got there.
Sherlock Holmes.
So I think you're right. I think someone didn't want to put it in that tiny diet, like hotel trash can. And they were like, let's just put it in the box. And then maybe the housekeeper came in and was like, oh, they didn't actually end up opening it. Let's resell it or whatever.
Yeah.
But then no one checked it.
Yeah, well, hey,
crazy.
the turnover of those rooms is nuts and they're underpaid.
They're underpaid and they're undervalued. And now I'm understanding why they're undervalued because we're leaving poopy diapers in the boxes.
Unless it was a serial terrorist dumper who's
We're
just
not
like
sure.
loves to just poop places.
So guess what happens next?
What?
So the kid didn't open it, thank God. It was like the sister who opened it. And the interview's hysterical. It's like the classic people who are on the news. So it's like who you think's on the news.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys can use your own imagination there. So she's like, and I open it and you're not gonna believe it. So she like calls down, right? And they're like, oh God. They're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna refund you for the box and we're gonna give you a voucher for the Build-A-Bear. They had a Build-A-Bear on premises for the kids.
Oh, okay.
She's like, I just opened a shit-filled diaper and you're going to give me a free Build-A-Bear, bitch? She's pissed. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Right? So the next morning, she speaks to like the management team. I'm sure it was like a late night crew that was working the front desk. The real management kind of comes in during the day and they're so super apologetic and they like are like, we're going to refund you the night stay. So they released a statement. Should I read it?
Please.
Great Wolf Lodge. We take the health and safety of our guests very seriously, and we are working closely with the PAC members at our lodge in Traverse City to determine how this incident happened so we can ensure every precaution is taken to prevent any incident like this from ever happening again. We've been in contact with the family to try to make up for this unacceptable behavior, and we hope to have the opportunity to welcome them back when they're ready and provide them exceptional experience families have come to expect when they visit the Great Wolf Lodge, Traverse City.
I love when they're like, when they're ready, because
when they're
they
ready.
know that they are causing some turmoil within the family. There's a lawsuit there. My friend, who I don't know if she would want to be name dropped, but it's one of my friends actually, her and her aunt went to a hotel and there was like a little bit of fecal matter on the inside of the sheets and they had a lawsuit that went on for like a year and they won.
I don't care if it's a little bit of fecal matter or not. If fecal is in the conversation, it's an instant no.
Yeah.
You did a little oopsie and now you're going to pay up.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just really gross and grody. I think I've never been to a Great Wolf Lodge.
And we never will be.
I've heard a lot of bad things about it.
Yeah.
And I just like to talk a little shit here. It's not for me.
No.
So I heard that there's always someone accidentally pooping in the wave pool because it's like the whole thing is geared to little kids, right? Not their fault, right? But then you're going to the water park and it's like really chlorinated, rightfully so, because it's a bunch of little kids in there, and they're constantly having to cut down like rides and like stop things because
People
of
are
like poop and
pooping.
pee.
Yeah, I'm all set with like the older I get, the more I'm like, I just don't want to go to a water park. I don't need to be swimming in a public pool. And I know that they have so many chemicals in them. When we went on the cruise, I usually wear like briefs under my my swim trunks. My bathing suit.
So many different options to say it.
And it was like a new pair of Calvin Kleins. They were completely black.
Okay,
and
name drop.
we were in there for like what? We went on the terrifying
45
water
minutes.
slide from hell. And we were in the pool for maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
What did you say?
I said 45, but it's okay.
Well, yeah, it could have been 45. Either way, when I took them off, they were absolutely bleached. They were like bright orange, like the color of your energy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. No, they were bleached. So this place would do the same.
Yeah.
But
Can't
you
be
know-
good for your skin.
I did a little research. I was like,
Okay.
how much is this going to run you for one night?
Mm.
So I didn't search Traverse City because I was like, they're probably running like discounts right now because it's gross there. So I looked at the one in Fitchburg. So one night, I did it for like the day this podcast drops, August 4th.
Okay.
So just for fun. So it would be $299 for like a double queen room. And that includes admission to the water park.
Mm.
Like a family of four, it's not that bad. Then I go to checkout and then it shows me like the service and fees or whatever. It jumps from $299 to $428. Isn't that insane for services and fees?
Yeah.
And the room is pretty bare bones. It's like the most basic room you can get there. And like there's no food included. And I've heard the food is terrible there. It's like just like cafeteria style. It's a really expensive trip to be underwhelmed and like just like screaming and just the smells and the uncleanliness of it all. I'm really anti Great Wolf Lodge. We have a lot of parents on the pod. We love you guys so much. Let us know if you're watching on YouTube, if you're a big Great Wolf Lodge, like if you're a lodger. And if you're a lodger, if you're not, I want to know.
And also, if you Great Wolf Lodge, if you have to start out your title by saying great, you're overcompensating for something. Babe.
It's a cute theme and idea.
Sure,
overall.
Whatever.
Execution, I don't know if it's there, but I have a lot of people have stories and I want to hear some stories. That would be a good like gossip dog. Bad.
Yeah, guys, email it in to what's our email?
camcounselorspod@gmail.com or
Thank you.
camcounselorpodcast.com and click the little write-in tab.
Yeah.
That's all I got for morning announcements, you guys. So don't poop in a diaper and put it back in a box.
Grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
Welcome back to Take a Hike. This is the part of the show where we bitch a little and we complain about shit, kind of like what we did in the previous segment. But we tell something to take a hike. So I'm going to go first.
I want to hear it. What are you bitching about this week?
Let me just paint the picture for you. So it's 9 a.m. We woke up at Martha's Vineyard after what we had already told you about. And we go down to the corner bakery and bagelery.
Mm-hmm.
A man comes up and stands a little too close behind me in line. If I can hear your mouth breathing, you're a little too close, sir.
Ew.
So we walk up to the counter. We order our 2 iced coffees. I get my egg and cheese on an Asiago bagel, and you get
Sausage, egg, and cheese on a French toast bagel.
love that, a French toast bagel.
I know what I'm doing.
So Tracy, who's kindly working behind the counter, I don't know if that's her name, but that's the name that we're giving her for story's sake. She gives us our number, 32, which factually, you can fact check, was our number. So then we step aside, as you do. We're just sipping on our coffees, and the guy behind us orders, does whatever. This is all routine. Like, we've all been doing this. But bad breath Brian behind me apparently didn't get the memo. So she calls our number, 32. She repeats what we got, Asiago, egg and cheese on Asiago and the French toast fuckery. And homeboy steps up with his receipt in his hand and he tries to grab the bagels out of her hand while she's kind of like gesturing at me. You got 1 bagel, homeboy. Do you know what your number is? It says it at the top of the receipt.
Uh-huh.
Just because you're impatient doesn't mean that you can be stealing my food, bitch.
He got 1 bagel?
Yeah, and I can almost guarantee you it wasn't Asiago because he was giving pumpernickel energy.
Yeah, and like you know who was in front of you. Like that, it's going in order.
Were you even listening to what they were doing? Did you listen to your wife when she was saying her vows? Because your wedding band is looking as tarnished as your marriage is.
I was like, he's
Now
giving
I'm just-
divorcee.
Yeah, no, I'm just getting a little mean. But my take a hike goes to people who hear a number being called and without even referring to the receipt or thinking, oh, there's 2 sandwiches in Tracy's hand. I only ordered 1. I'm going to go and take both of them without thinking twice. Like, you can go take a hike. Bad breath, Brian. You can go take a hike.
Yeah, we've lost all courtesy and sense of belonging or a sense of understanding how the takeout window moves, you know? Like, it's follow the order, pay attention. I will say I do hate when I forget my number and then I'm scared to ask and then I'm just like, oh my God, what was my number?
True. Okay, that's valid. However, she did repeat the order,
Yeah,
which
and it
is,
was
I
also
think,
30
important.
seconds after we ordered. It was
Yeah.
pretty fast.
Yeah, like
That
come
bagel
on.
sucked too, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't toasted. It was just hot.
I don't even love bagels to begin with. And if they're not even toasted, I feel like I'm just eating 9 pounds of bread, which I love any other day of the week if it's chewy, but this is like raw and soft. And it was just okay. Like in theory, my bagel order was supposed to be exquisite, gorgeous, beautiful, but it wasn't. And that was on them. It was on the team.
But it did kind of bring us back to life because we were slightly dead, but it did, for me, you know, I'll speak for myself because you're looking like you're not agreeing. For me, in my opinion, it kind of brought me back to life.
I just hate the idea of a wasted meal, a wasted calorie. Like I could have eaten something that, like, I don't know, gregarious, unhealthy,
Whoa.
like big and large and filling. And I chose that, and it took up space in my tiny, petite little body when I could have given that real estate to someone better, someone more deserving of my money, my time, my effort, and my good looks, my
Yeah.
charm, my beauty, and this story right here.
Yeah.
They got their airtime, they got what they wanted, but I didn't get what I wanted. And that's why they're in the take a hike category. So I'm asking that bagel place to also take a hike.
And that's not egg on your face.
That's egg on their face.
That's egg on our sandwich that Brian tried to steal.
Egg on Ryan's face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He also like beelined it like with his hands up like he was a toddler chasing a butterfly. I was like, grow up, dude. Like close your mouth.
He's a bagel pickpocketer.
You look like a trout. So what's your take a hike?
My take a hike is cleaning my car, cleaning cars in general,
Okay.
specifically the vacuum. So if you live in a rural place and you have access to some sort of outdoor outlet, you have a good vacuum, it's best to vacuum your car at the house, right? But for some of us, we don't have that option, or we didn't have that option. And I have always had to use those quarter operated mobile vacuum units that are usually inside of a car wash.
Yeah,
Familiar?
vintage. Yeah.
Yeah, so
quarters.
I always have gone to those in my entire life, and I just recently did one today. I've been working on my car all day. I went to 8 different locations to get my car completely up to tip-top shape. I am not kidding. 8 different stops. I will use that for another day, for another story. But one of my stops today was to vacuum out my car. So I went to a local place that I know is really good, but I always am, I don't know, abused and like, I don't know, back into the trauma when I have to use one of those like quarter operated vacuums. They're very large, stinky,
Loud.
loud, and you're fighting for your life. You have to put $2 worth of quarters in for 5 minutes.
That's 10 quarters.
The minute that's 8 quarters.
Yeah.
The minute that last quarter drops, it is a race for your life. You have 5 minutes to vacuum 4 mats in your entire car, or you have to get another set of $2 worth of quarters. Yes, you could do that. And now, like I said before, I'm older. I have a little bit more of a deeper pocket. I can get another set of quarters. Back in the day, I refused out of a sense of moral stance. I was like, I'm not giving these people more money for a vacuum. And I would race for my life. And it's just a really embarrassing thing to do, to vacuum at high speed.
Yeah, on the side of the road while people are at a red light looking at you.
My body is twisting in unnatural positions, okay? I'm getting a Charlie horse. My ass is out. I'm dripping sweat. I'm pulling, I'm twisting, I'm running. And you know what? I don't even know if it's a genuine 5 minutes because I never have time to even track it because I'm just fighting for my life.
Yeah, and time flies when you're fighting for your life with a plumber's crack.
Sometimes you go to ones and they don't even work, and you give them all those quarters and they don't even work, or the hose is cracked, the suction is bad. I go to this very one specific one in New Bedford that I know is really good. I think it's called Rubber Ducky. It's in the North End. They really maintain their property there,
Quack,
and the
quack,
hoses are
bitch.
great. But the minute that last quarter drops, it is 5 minutes of hell. Never compete in the Olympics, but I have vacuumed a car in 5 minutes.
Might as well.
And that deserves an accolade. So I've called Guinness. They have not reached out for comment. They've seen the hate that I've given them on the show. Understandable. But that's why I'm asking to take a hike this week.
That's a good take a hike, but I cannot wait to sit and be a passenger princess in a sparkling, clean, smelling car.
I didn't wash my car, but today I got my tires. I got new tires. I got an alignment. I got an oil change. I got an inspection sticker. I got my car cleaned. I changed the battery and my key remote, and I wiped all the surfaces down. The thing I didn't get to do was to wash out the exterior.
I've never gone to a car wash by myself. Like, I've never been in the driver's seat at a car wash.
It's scary. It's sad. It's scary and it's sad.
I don't think I could handle it. I think my anxiety takes over too much. And in my head, I'm like, what if I floor it while I'm in there by accident? I have a heavy foot.
Usually, if you're in one of those ones, they make you put it into neutral. So it kind of just drags you along.
Oh, what happens if you floor it in neutral?
Nothing, because you're a neutral.
Oh.
One time I went to a car wash with my old Volvo, and when you would turn the car on, the antenna would lift, much like a flagpole. And when I put it into neutral, it didn't go back down. So I went through the car wash, and when I came out, my antenna was snapped in half.
No.
And I never got the local radio as good as I used to have gotten. It still worked, but the distance was a little impaired.
Do the antennas ever actually work? Like, is it really just giving you like 3 extra feet of space?
I'm not sure. I don't really need the antenna now. This was on my 1998 Volvo S70. So at that point, yes, I needed every inch of that pole that I snapped.
When you're inside your vulva.
Rookie mistake in the vulva. But yeah, I just think cleaning a car is like take a hike that leads into a camper crush.
Okay.
Because the end of result is Gorgita Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love this car right now.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe this is just like a little reminder, you guys, if you've been putting off cleaning your car, maybe do it today. If you have access to a plug in your garage and you can do it at home.
Ugh, you lucky dog.
There's no reason why you shouldn't. You really don't have an excuse. I'll give you a second to think of an excuse. Girl, that was not a good excuse. Like, just do it. Okay?
You know what also sucks? Sorry to go back to it. That little part in your car in between, like the window and the seat and the seat, like that little crevice on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Like mine looks like it was dumped with rock salt and also the salt from the McDonald's fries, like combined. Like it was just a rocky knoll in my crevice of my car, and I'm jamming this little attachment as hard as I can to get one little strip of salt, so then it's like a little clean strip, but then the corroding salt around the edges is still there. It's really difficult to detail your car.
Yeah.
I think the people who do that professionally, kudos.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That is great business if you have the patience, the time, and the skill. I don't have any of that. So maybe next time I'll get my car detailed. It's looking okay. I would give an 89 out of 100.
Okay, I'll be the judge of that.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Welcome back to Crush of the Week. This is part of the show that we literally just shout love. We shout words of affirmations at you campers and that we're loving. So start off by that. I love you campers so freaking much. You were always my camper crush of the week. But if we're going to be specific and go with show rules, there is an actual jaw rule that we're picking.
Yeah.
So who is your jaw rule that you're picking this week?
So my camper crush of the week is eating peanuts with a spoon. Okay, let me explain.
I need context. I need everything you can give me right now, please.
So, I don't like when I'm eating something and I get crumbolinas on my hands.
Agreed.
I covered a story about Cheetle. This was months ago.
Don Cheadle?
No, you said the same thing. Cheetle was the word that was given to Cheeto dust that's on your fingers. Remember when I talked about that?
It's all coming back to me now.
So Cheetle, I don't like anything that's like dusty on the fingers.
Agreed.
If I could, I would eat everything with a chopstick. When we were in Portland, Maine, they had a place that had cheese balls with a chopstick. That is perfect.
It's gorgeous. It's fun. It's stunning. It's also like
Yeah, you bought cheese balls that came in a Pringles canister. The way I've been eating them when you're not home, because I'm embarrassed to do it around you, is like hold it up to my mouth like a cup of water. No Cheetle on my fingers. No egg on my face.
Why are you embarrassed by that? Because I was doing that the entire time, because those Cheetos specifically in the canister, those have so much dust on them. It's almost overwhelming. It's like sensory overload.
Yeah. And there's so much shit on my fingers, and I am not a finger sucker.
We are complaining a lot in the Crush of the Week.
Okay, so all that being said, the peanuts that we got from Ocean State Job Lot, strike that, reverse it. I forget what they are. They're like sriracha something.
I don't like them. You love them.
Anyway, they're covered with flavor, bursts of flavor. And if I'm eating them with my fingers are so goddamn oily that they're taking the flavor bits. Now, if I had taste buds in my fingers, this would be a different story. But I don't.
Wait, trademark that.
Thank you. So I take my little spoon, and I eat it with that. And I'm getting every ounce of flavor that Utz wanted me to have.
You should make a product, and it's called Spoon Nuts. And you can go and instead of from soup to nuts, it's from
spoon to nuts. From spoon to mouth.
Yeah, it's a little play on words. It's a little sassy, a little kick to it. I think it's smart. I think if it's a faster vessel to get the food to your mouth, like what's the issue here?
And also, if I'm eating peanuts, the classic move where you put it in the palm of your hand and then you're cupping your hand over your mouth and you're just like
You're gonna
dumping
break
them
out.
like that,
You're gonna break
you're
out.
gonna break out. You're gonna look stupid. You're gonna get Cheetle all over your beard. You're not
Cheetle
gonna,
in the beard is never okay.
no, you're not going to realize that it's there. You're not going to look in the mirror before you leave. Next thing you know, you're at an Outback Steakhouse and the host is looking at you like, what the fuck is in your beard? You're embarrassed. You can never go back to Outback Steakhouse.
Do you
So
ever
I'm saving you guys.
Do you ever feel like you're eating a cup of soup when you're eating your nuts with your spoon?
Well, I just started doing this. This is a newer journey for me. But now that you say it, it does kind of feel soupy.
I have a little hard time with just eating straight peanuts. Peanuts to me, when they're already deshelled, they're a little buttery, a little too creamy. It feels a little rich. It's honestly, peanuts are very rich.
It is. It's like fatty. It's soft, but it goes down easy.
They're fatty, soft, and they go down easy. That's exactly how I describe myself.
Yeah.
But I like a peanut. I do. I like a peanut and a trail mix because I need a little bit more like for me, a peanut needs a sister, a brother, a friend. It needs a companion. I can't have a peanut alone because it's a little too much for me.
Okay. Well, for me, I love peanuts.
Did you say peanuts?
I said peanuts.
Peanut sounds like peanuts, and I like that.
Don't we all? Okay, so yeah, that's if you guys come across a little, or you could do this with almonds, I suppose, because those always get everywhere as well.
Yeah, well, the flavored almonds too, for sure. Yeah, like guys, just start using spoons with your nuts. Spoon to nuts. That's the tip of the week, you guys.
Spoon your nuts.
Spoon your nuts.
Yes, amen. You guys, you're so fucking welcome for this podcast.
Well, they get it. They get it. The girls that
girls
listen to
get
this,
it.
they literally just like, they clock in here and they go, we get it. We
Mhm.
literally get it. We're campers. We're
Yeah.
counselors at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I do. I feel like, honestly, I kind of feel better than everybody right
Oh my God.
now. Sorry. Go ahead. Take it away. What is your camp crush of the week?
My crush of the week is Facebook posts of betrayal and backstabbing.
Dear God.
That's a lot to unpack there.
A lot to unpack. And baby, I have my butter knife and I'm ready to open these boxes.
The only way I can explain this thoroughly is to explain the post that I saw this week that I had to physically type out because it was too good not to share on here.
Is it somebody you know? Can we?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who posted it. It was like
Okay.
a share. It was like a shared thing.
Okay.
Like it was like a picture that you share
Got it.
that applies to somebody's life, and they're like, and okay, we'll get into it. This is the post that it said. Before you spread gossip about somebody's life and their failures, ... remember there are chapters of your life you don't want read out loud. So I'm gagged. I'm gagged. Because then I see who shares it, and I can only infer. I can only infer what is going on in that person's life. Okay?
Okay.
Usually people would hate that kind of stuff because I feel like people are like, ew, I don't like the vague. Like, just be serious. Just tell me. One thing about me, I am a Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school for witchcraft and wizardry, and I also went to school for detectiveness. It's an online program. It's not accredited, but I went for it. And I love to piece together the pieces. If there's 180 comments, okay, I'm sat. I'm clocked in. I have to focus. I'm going to put the pieces together. I'm going to go to your relationship tab. Are they still tagged in that? No. Go through the photos. Who am I seeing? Who am I not seeing? I'll figure it out myself. And if I can't figure it out that day, I'll come back. I'll revisit. I'll remember. I always remember.
You're like an elephant.
Do you like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, obviously. I'm nosy. I'm a nosy ass bitch.
And I just like can't relate to it. Not to say that I'm better than this kind of person, but like I am, because I will never, ever publicly go online and air out my dirty laundry. That to me is so embarrassing. Like, some things do not have to be shared out online, especially if it's temporary and it's petty and it's like a relationship thing. Like, I feel like let it go. You can like vent and be petty with your best friends and your family all you want, right? Like, go to the bar, talk shit, have a margarita, really let them have it. But to go in a public forum, a la Facebook, a la Instagram, and to really be vague about something that people clearly can put like two and two together, to me, it's just a little tacky.
Yeah.
Like, I love to watch it, but for me, I would never.
Okay, so that's the question you were asking me is like, do I like it? Like, what? I wouldn't do it either. I don't even post on Facebook.
Yeah, like
But
I would never be that bitch, but I will watch that bitch.
Yes, exactly. So it's something that you don't want to go away. That's why it's your camper crush of the week, because you're enjoying it. You're being entertained by it.
It just could never be me. Like, there is simply time and place. And you did it at my birthday. And it's just like, no, that was a joke, guys. If you didn't get that joke, there was a joke.
Sucking dick and cock.
Stop. Some of the campers will get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, to me, it's really one of the greatest pastimes. I don't play sports. I read Facebook, and that's what I do.
You really do. I'll find you on Facebook. The way that you find me on my Instagram Explore page is like you were like, why is my phone not charging? And you're like, oh, because I'm reading a screenshot of something that somebody's posting from their phone and their phone wasn't plugged in.
I love Facebook drama. I think I just like back in the day when I worked at all these restaurants, in the last 10 years, I've collected the most eccentric group of people that are so blatantly public with their messiness of their lives.
Yeah.
And I find those people's lives to be more interesting than any other like influencer celebrity in the world. I want to know what the 65-year-old retired woman is buying at the grocery store this week because she's going to complain about the price of produce. She's going to complain about the increase of rent in her neighborhood. And she's just going to be dramatic about dogs that are in public places. She's pissed that people are bringing their dogs to the grocery store. And she talks about it all the time. And to me, I find that to be like the creme de la creme of content. So I like to watch people's messiness on Facebook.
So for when we started this podcast for Gossip Doc, I was like, what if I find something on Facebook like this? So I looked through, I couldn't find it directly through Facebook. I found it through Reddit. It is a Facebook group and I did end up joining it, but it is so messy and so scary. And they call out anybody who shares anything on it that I am saying right now that I will not be speaking about it on the podcast.
It'll get back to them.
It will get back to them and they'll are
talk to you.
Relentless. I'm like, does anybody here have a job? But the tea that I'm reading on there is crazy. It's crazy. It's juicy. Some of it, I'm like, you guys are like insane. Also, some of you, the prose that you are writing, you should be an author because I would read that book.
Oh, I know. It's so funny because like obviously social media is our job, you guys. So like if I had to pick, like I would never have to, if I had to like pick between three, like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok or whatever, I would like have to eliminate Facebook based on my job because I post on TikTok and Instagram. But like, what do I like enjoy consuming the most? It's a tie between TikTok and Facebook for me. I really like, I love Instagram. I love like, here's a photo of me in Key West. Here's a photo of my 9-month-old baby. I don't give a fuck. I do care about the drama on Facebook.
Yeah, you have to. Somebody has to.
My crush of the week is just people really airing out their grievances publicly, but being vague so that we have to put the pieces together.
And then there is the difference between like somebody doing it on Reddit, because then like it will reach more people, but it's mostly anonymous. You know, people don't know that. But if it's Facebook, it's like you got pictures going back to 2006.
Yeah, Facebook just feels like a more intimate shit talking. It almost feels like you're out to dinner, but instead you're at your house.
Yeah.
I like that about that.
Mm-hmm.
What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs.
Welcome back to Camp Songs. These are the songs that have been stuck in our head all week. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
So this song literally has been stuck in our head all week. We were singing it all the time at Martha's Vineyard. Oh, you guys, go to patreon.com/campcounselors because we have been vlogging all of it. This is our 4th week. There's like tons of vlogs that if you sign up now, like you can watch all of our older ones too. So like it opens the floodgates to all of that. But if you want to keep up, and we are singing it a lot in this last vlog, which was like 20 some minutes long. But anyway, my song is Barbie World by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice featuring
Aquafina.
Aqua. It says Aqua online, but it's really just sampling it. Like they didn't do anything new, which kind of made me sad. But everybody knows with Barbie and everything, Aqua had the song Barbie Girl. You're familiar?
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Come on, Ava Max.
Listen, that is a classic song. And you literally, before this movie was even being released, you always were a big Aqua head.
I've been an Aqua head. Dr. Jones, look it up. Happy Boys and Happy Girls, look it up. Like, I was in Aqua
You're a
head.
trendsetter, though. You always are like hip to things before they get big.
Thank you. This 1997, I had the little CD thing that you could flip through, and
fun.
Aqua was the first one because it was the most used. Quickly followed by Aaron Carter. May he rest in peace.
Oh.
But Barbie Girl went platinum recently. I'm sorry, triple platinum in the United States. I don't know what it, because they're not from the US. I did a lot of research, but where they're from, I did not research. But I want to say it's Icelandic or something like that. I'm not really sure, so don't hold it against me. But anyway, I kind of want to talk about that song. That song's not my camp song.
So we're not adding that one to this. We're not adding it to the playlist. We're adding the remix to the playlist.
Yeah, because it's Jazzy, Stacey, Nikki. All of them bitches is sticky. It is such a good song.
Wait, and the video?
The video?
The video. The video was so good.
Yeah, sorry, we are standing with SAG-AFTRA, but the video was great.
Yeah, we're seeing with SAG-AFTRA, but we loved Barbie, guys. Barbie was great, and I think it has a great message for women and women empowerment, and we love women at this camp. So I'm gonna we're gonna stand tall with SAG, and we're not gonna talk about movies right now because we support writers and we support actors. But I will say I really support the message behind that movie because we did see it, but we're not gonna talk about the movie because
we're
moving forward.
We're saggy girls.
I just wanted to let everyone know that I really appreciated the meaning behind the movie.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I'm
We can
leaving
talk
it
about
at
it at a later time.
Love you, Saggy.
We are saggy girls. Look at me, I'm dragging
Saggy
on the floor.
counselors.
Saggy counselors.
Ew.
Okay, sorry, we're taking it back. 1997, Barbie girl Aqua.
Okay.
Did you know about the lawsuit that happened between them and Mattel?
Well, it makes so much sense, but you've talked about it so much with me, but only through you.
Okay, so when Barbie girl blew up on the charts, Mattel sued Aqua. They said, "Bitch, what the fuck?" And they also they didn't say that in a court document, but they also sued MCA Records in federal court for trademark infringement. The company cited the song's quote sexual and other. The company cited that the song's sexual and other savory themes, like that's what they were like, hey, it's a smear campaign. But honestly, like, come on, like, let's live. Girl power, right? So the record label countersued after the toy manufacturer likened them to a bank robber. So appeals judge Alex, unpronounceable last name, he eventually put an end to the nearly 6-year debacle in 2003. So this is going on for years because Aqua was like, hey, like we said Barbie, but like we aren't using Barbie's logo. Mattel's like, you're using our likeness. Like, girl, come on, Barbarella. And they were, and they kind of just like did whatever with it. But I just think how it was handled and how Mattel was like, we are a clean company. We are very like, we're skinny, we're tiny, we're thin, and we are mostly white, and we are not going to take this slander from you.
You have to be honest here, babe. Just because you like the song, you have to look at it from a clearer perspective here. Like, they were using their likeness illegally, and that's not okay, and they had to pay the price. Like, they were in the wrong. They were in the wrong.
I think if they were just using the likeness, it would be okay, but they have the line about, like,
life in plastic, it's fantastic. I'm about
like undressing and like touch me anywhere.
Yeah, but even if they weren't, you're still using the likeness of a brand. It doesn't matter. You cannot do that. If they have it, they've cultivated this image, and even if they didn't do the sexualization of it, they're still capitalizing off of like a brand that they didn't have the rights to use. And I can't believe that like a record label would even pursue that. Like, it just seems like such bad business.
But what Mattel was leaning on was the quote sexual and other unsavory themes. So that was like the basis of their lawsuit.
Yeah, because they need to have a strong pull here, but I'm sure they still would have sued regardless. We have like old rock bands suing for like one medley in a band. Like, they had a lawsuit, even if it wasn't sexual, they were still going to sue that lawsuit.
Right. Sure. So Judge Alex, unpronounceable last name, in 2003, he's putting an end to it. So in his closing opinion, this is in 2003, okay? In his closing opinion, he wrote that, quote, with fame often comes unwanted attention, followed by the now iconic ruling, quote, the parties are advised to chill. He told them both to chill.
Yeah. Well,
so Mattel ended up, like, they ended up winning some money, and Mattel took the advice after suffering from a 30% sales drops in 2005. I think that's when like everybody was kind of over Barbie. It was
because Bratz came out and they were giving Forever Diamonds.
Ooh, Bratz. The girls with a passion for fashion. Don't get me started on Bratz. Anyway, in 2009, they actually ended up licensing Barbie Girl. Mattel did.
Because they couldn't fight the machine that was that song. That song is it's just so everyone in the world knows that song. So it's like, just get on the train, get your rights, get your licensing, get your deal, get your cut, and just go with it.
I did a cheer competition to that dance. So
you've never been in cheer.
That's correct. I lied about that, but if I was, I would have.
You know that I want to be a flyer so bad, so don't throw that in my face.
Sorry. So the same year, Mattel's senior vice president, they like wanted to get their relationship straight with Aqua. Yes, question?
First of all, senior vice president is so embarrassing. Like, just be a vice president or be president. Don't get a second layer of it.
Yeah, please.
You're scaring everybody in the room.
Anyway, so they said, this is what the senior vice president said, quote, we are not always in love with one another, the exec told the New York Times, adding, that's the beauty of Barbie, is she's going to kiss and make up. So it's kind of been a tumultuous relationship. And I think a lot I think Aqua kind of didn't want to be a part of Mattel at this point after they were, I could be wrong about this. I'm literally just kind of trying to read between the lines here. But yeah, then fast forward to 2022, the lead singer Lene said that there was no way that they were going to use Barbie Girl in the Barbie movie since Mattel produced the movie. And she also said, I totally understand that they didn't want to use it because this is how it went at first. But it's gonna bring us attention no matter what. She's like, we know what we're gonna do, and that's why they ended up like going on like a small tour again and like making a TikTok page. I was like, you guys, you got to take it now because it's not gonna be 1997 till now. That's at least 10 years. I don't know.
Almost 20.
Yeah. So then the keyboardist, he said,
oh my God, it's over 20. It's almost 30.
yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
My math, that was bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's only been 10 years. So the keyboardist, he said, we should say we turned it down. Ryan Gosling is not good enough. I'm like, what are you guys getting at? Like, let's just chill. The parties need to chill. Okay. Listen to the judge. The parties need to chill. So Greta Gerwig, it's not completely clear in this article, like exactly how she played into it, but she wanted to incorporate Aqua and Nicki and Ice Spice. So she was like, let's just sample it and do whatever. But I don't know how true that is because I can't imagine Greta Gerwig like in the booth with Nicki and Ice Spice being like, we're sampling Aqua. Do you know what I mean?
I can't believe that. I can't imagine that whole film and everything and that whole like resurgence of Barbie and not having her be a part of it. Like it's like the most iconic song.
It had to be. It really wasn't a question.
They definitely dropped the ball by not having Trixie Mattel in there at all. She's like a global star, and I think she like gives that doll energy. So I thought that was a weird choice to not have her in it either. But whatever. I'm proud of Aqua. I get her coin, Aqua.
It's a group. It's a couple people.
Everyone in Aqua get their coin.
So that is my camp song.
I love that, babe.
What's your camp song?
My camp song is a song that just came out yesterday. Well, a week from when you guys hear this episode because we're recording a little bit earlier. It's called In Your Love by Tyler Childers.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of him before?
Yes, I've heard of him through you.
I am a really big fan of him. I've almost made him like my song of the week a bunch of different times, but like sometimes I get nervous that you guys don't want to hear my like weird sad folk music that I love so much. So I'm always like, give the girls a little pop hits. And I like give you a little bit with Noah Kahan, but like this is like really, I love him so much. And I found him through Noah Kahan. So he has a bunch of different songs that I love, but this new one that came off, it came out, it's called In Your Love.
Gorgeous song. Love it.
And it's going to be off his new album called Rusting in Rain. So it's a really great song about like kind of like just falling in love and having a relationship that may not last forever, but while it's here, you're really going to capitalize it and just love a person with your whole heart. That's why I got to get out of it. But it's kind of reaching some national news, and you might have already heard about it at this point. But they released a music video, and it features two gay characters in a gay love scene. A gay love story, if you will.
And he's not gay.
He's not gay. And this is really important and impactful for me, you guys, because I'm a really big fan of like folk music, definitely. And I'm growing into my country phase, but I have a hard time with it and a little point of contention because I do feel like a lot of that kind of music is like rooted in a lot of like I don't
homophobia.
know.
It feels like an unsafe space for us.
It doesn't feel safe ever. I don't even feel safe with all the Mason Dixon. Back to Tyler Childers. So he is, I think he's Virginia based or West Virginia. He's really obsessed with the coal mines, and that's kind of like the storyline behind this song. It's like this couple from the 1950s, and they're like coal miners, and they're in love, and someone gets sick and someone passes away, and Colton Hayes is in it.
In the music video, yeah.
He's really famous.
Yeah, from Teen Wolf.
I just know him being famous for just being gay. I don't like know what he's been in other than this video. But it's really cool because, so like I said, like the lead singer Tyler Childers is not gay, but he worked with this famous poet his name is Silas House, and he's the poet laureate of Kentucky who wrote the treatment for the idea of like the video. And they really tried to like accurately portray like what it would have been like to be like a gay coal miner in the 1950s. Other than the fact that the lead two guys in it are like stunningly movie gorgeous and it's not like a realistic beauty standard. Who cares, right? Because it's still representation. I don't really care. It's a beautiful video and a beautiful story, and I think it's just a really kind of great change, and I welcome a beautiful song about a gay couple in the country music sphere.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous song. It's a gorgeous music video. You made me watch it before we hit record, and I had to gather myself in the bathroom because it's a tearjerker. It's so cute. And you know what I like
What?
A trope in a music video that I really like is when you're watching it. It's kind of like a movie. Like, obviously, there's a story going on. And then halfway through, the two main characters in the story walk into a bar and like the singer of the band is singing the song in the bar that they're in. I'm like, it's
Wait,
like breaking the fourth wall.
I love that too.
It shakes my knees. When Trisha Paytas did it, I couldn't breathe. For more than one reason.
You're right. It is a couple. There is a lot of like that. It's like a classic like music video trope.
Yeah.
Really quickly, I want to read you like a little like thing that Silas House said about like the video and why they went the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
He said, as a gay teenager who loved country music, I could have never imagined seeing myself in a video. That visibility matters. Tyler and I both felt that the attention to detail about rural life was very important. So we made sure that the house and the people looked realistic for the time period instead of the stereotypes of country people that had become so ingrained in the public consciousness. We wanted to tell as complex a story as we could in 4 minutes, not only about a gay couple, but also about rural people. We wanted to show their joy and their sorrow, all the things that make us a complex life. Too often, simplistic notions are pushed about both rural and LGBTQ people, so we did everything we could to make this story as rich and layered as possible. And I think it's beautiful because I do think I always feel so blessed that I grew up gay in Massachusetts and not gay in Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, that is a level of pain that I think is just gut wrenching. You know what I mean?
Especially after getting like a taste of it, just to be fully submerged, and that's just sad.
Yeah, you were gay in Illinois and you had a hard time with it, you know? So I think for people who grow up in places that don't have as access to like real queer people in real spaces, and like maybe they're surrounded by country music, but they're not seeing themselves represented, this is a beautiful space to start.
Yeah.
Or continue in other places. So I love this song. I love a bunch of his music. Maybe going down the road, I'll show you some of my favorites. I love Follow You to Virgie so much. Charleston Girl Live. Cole. He loves the coal mines. He's great. But that's my song of the week. And I want you guys to listen to it. And it's available in the episode description on a free Spotify playlist and a free YouTube playlist. And it's every song we've ever talked about on this show. And it's so fun. It's so cool. And I want you to love it.
Yeah.
So that's it for today's episode, I think.
Yeah. Hey, this was a great episode.
Yeah, it really was. I'm going to go into the kitchen and get a big spoonful of peanuts.
Yes, bitch.
And read some Facebook comments.
I love peanuts.
So guys, check out the Patreon too. It's linked in the episode description. Bunch of stuff from the summer and a bunch of stuff if you've missed it from before. We love you so much for supporting us. If you haven't yet, rate us 5 stars on Apple Music or Spotify, wherever you listen. Tell a friend about the podcast. Get some more campers here. But if you're here, you are a camper for a reason. Your boondoggle keychain is deserved, and we love you. You need a patch. We love you so freaking much. With that being said,
Lights out, campers.